Is your track missing effects and interesting ear candy? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make basic effects for your drum and bass track. So without further ado, let's get into the program. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some interesting and creative effects for your drum and bass tune. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a Midi track, and we're going to select the region by clicking and dragging the length of where we want to draw in a Midi clip. And this is where we're going to choose and type Control-Shift-M so that we can get that Midi clip there. And then we're going to draw in a note and press legato so it covers the whole length of that Midi clip. And once we got that Midi clip, we're going to open Operator, and we're going to choose a white noise. So basically any synth that lets you choose white noise as a trigger to be triggered, it will allow you to create some basic effects for your track. So now that you've got some white noise loaded in, it should sound like this. We're going to draw in some automations on some filters. So we're going to put two filters, one low pass and one high pass. And one of them is going to be gradually opening up, while the other one closes. So we're going to automate one to be opening up. In this case, it's going to be the high pass. And what we're going to do here is also add an auto pan. And we're going to drag the rate down to 0. And we're going to automate the amount from the middle of that Midi clip. And we're also going to automate the rate. So let's actually put the rate up all the way up and have it slowly decrease in speed. And we're going to put the phase all the way to 0. So it only modulates the amplitude and not the panning. So now what we're going to do is going to duplicate it, and we're going to put one on the drop, and this is the one that's going to be basically like our downfall effects. So this is going to be like our down effects here. So just put these both in solo. And we can also modulate the rate. And the next one I want to do is actually also made with a operator. So we're going to load the operator here. And this time we're going to choose a sine wave. So we're going to put the same exact length of a note, except this time we're going to mess with the pitch and the LFO inside of operator. So we're going to start at a very slow rate, and then it's going to start increasing slowly, and the amount as well. And we're also going to put a filter on it so that it starts closing up. You'll also want to automate the volume so it starts at a low volume and it gradually goes up. So this is what that sounds like. You can also decrease the octave if that's too high pitched for you. Next, what we're going to do is I'm going to freeze and flatten the sine wave that's being pitched up and modulated. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a drone. So I'm going to load a reverb onto the sound. And what I'm going to do is turn off the flat and cut option here and turn on the freeze. So now with the flat and cut off, and when we have the freeze turned on, we're going to automate the dry wet to kind of choose where we want that reverb to stop. And since I don't want it to drag onto the drop, I'm going to make it stop right before there. And so this is what that sounds like. You can increase the decay. And we're also going to modify the dry wet. And we're going to make sure that the volume has no automation so that it continues up until the point where we decide to basically put the dry wet down to 0. And once we've got this long kind of bit of sound here, we can actually automate the size to make it rise. So it's a bit subtle now, but if we add an EQ and actually exaggerate that rise in pitch with the shifter, it will sound much better. So put it to frequency mode and then automate the fine tune so that it gradually goes up. We also want to automate the volume so that it starts at a lower volume and it doesn't have that kind of nasty artifact sitting on top. And we're going to close the EQ a bit more. We can also automate the cutoff of the EQ here so that it starts very high passed and then it slowly introduces some of that mid information. So let's just hear all of the effects in context now. And if we group them and listen to them in solo, this is what it would sound like. So I'm also going to show you how to make impacts. Let's go ahead and open a new audio track. I'm going to name this to FX bus. And I'm going to copy over a kick from my drum kit. And once you've got that kick from your drum kit, let's go ahead and into the new audio track and put it at the point where we want that impact to be. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the layer, and we're going to put a filter on both of them. And on one of them, we're going to put a reverb again. And we're going to do the same exact trick that we did on the last one. So turn off the flat and cut and turn on freeze. We also want to turn off the high cut. And here we're going to basically automate the dry wet to decide how long we want that effect to last. So this is what it sounds like at the moment. Oh, wrong channel. So this is what it sounds like at the moment. And if we want it shorter, we just have to automate the dry wet. And the reason why I duplicated the kick is so that it actually has that first initial impact hit. So now let's group these two and rename it as impact. So now we have an impact and some effects to make our rising build up a bit more interesting. So this is what it sounds like at the moment. And that would be it for this video. So again, my name is Yatuza with DNB Academy, and if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notifications for our next uploads. Thank you for watching.